Hey guys, Scottish Football here, back with another video. Today we are actually finally back with another video. I think it's been 2 weeks since I've last done one. I need to upload regularly actually. We're back with another week for the Premier League predictions now. It's now game week 8. An exciting game week. This is as I think there's a few big games around with a few derbies in the Championship as well. One new managerial appointment, and one new takeover confirmed. Lots of new stuff happening this week. Right, the first game is Watford versus Liverpool. Well, of course, this is a 12:30 kickoff. Watford have recently appointed Claudio Ranieri as the brand new manager, the Leicester legend, who took Leicester to their, I think, was it their first ever Premier League title? Who took them from nothing to win everything. So, he did go to Fulham, he didn't do too well there, but maybe he might be able to be the one to do the job at Watford and not get sacked. But to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he'd gone by Christmas knowing the Watford board. But their managerial record is appalling, they can't keep a manager. Apparently, if Claudio Ranieri has said if the team manager is not to concede a goal against Liverpool, he'll take the team out for dinner after the game. Do I think Watford can do well here and get the first points under the belt under Ranieri here? I do think it will be tough here. Do think it will be tough to be honest, and the new manager coming in, but you can also the new manager get a win under the first manager. Remember that game when Watford beat Liverpool 3-0 when Nigel Pearson was in charge? But I do think Liverpool will win this very slightly. So Watford 1, Liverpool 2. But I just don't understand why they sacked Isco. He's the best Watford manager they've had since about Gracia, who took Watford to the FA Cup final and at a 12th place finish. The Watford board are a disgrace though. But anyway, a new manager coming in. I wish Claudio Ranieri all the best. And Watford for the rest of the season. Right, the next game now, we've got Aston Villa versus Wolves. We got the big one. We got the kind of West Midlands derby, you could say it is. This is actually a 3 PM kickoff. I'm actually really surprised here. Due to policing times, you would expect it to be like a 12:30 kickoff or 5:30 kickoff, or possibly a Sunday. Well, the game couldn't be tonight as West Brom are playing Blues tonight in the other West Midlands derby. I don't know why you would have two derbies on one weekend though. Obviously the police have agreed to it because I am kind of nervy about this game here, right? Nervy about it here. But we can be a threat going into this game. I do think we can manage to get a 1-1 draw here. But if we don't get a 1-1 draw, I do think Villa will beat us. We won't win, but you got to be confident in some kind of ways. So I'm going to say Villa 1, Wolves 1. That's my prediction. Right, the next game now we've got Leicester versus Man United. Leicester have had the best start to the season, have they really? But Man United, of recent times, they haven't performed the best and have had sloppy performances. it's soul-sized decisions, isn't it? Putting Ronaldo on the bench against Everton and only coming away with a 1-1 draw. Moving away from Premier League matters, but they've also lost to young boys as well. I know that's due to a red card. They've also lost to, who else have they lost to? I think they've lost to they've lost to a few other games as well, haven't they? Man United, they're just such an overrated team. I do think Leicester will narrowly win this game here. I do think it won't be the most exciting game here. Like, I've always said that Leicester Man United will be an exciting game, but it actually turns out that it isn't as exciting like with Leicester Man City. So I'm going to go in and say that Leicester are going to win it 1-0. So Leicester 1, Man United 0. Right, the next game now we've got Man City versus Burnley. Man City need to get... This is a must-win game for Man City here. But Burnley, I can see it being a bit of a long afternoon for them, as they only really picked up a point against Norwich, didn't they? They picked up a point against Norwich, but they did pick a good point away a good point up against Leicester, though, didn't they? They can't seem to grind out a win, though. A win, can they really? So I do think it will be Manchester City 3, Burnley 0. Right, the next game now we got Norwich versus Brighton. Norwich got a good point against Burnley in the last game, but they needed all 3, didn't they, really? But at least they got a point on the board now. Up against Brighton now, who are really in form. They didn't play exactly that well against Arsenal, but that probably the most poorish performance so far, but probably is, but odds maybe Everton and Leicester, but along with Everton and Leicester as well. But other than that, they're on fire this season, Brighton, and I do think it'll be incredibly hard for Norwich to get a result here, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be Norwich 0, Brighton 2. Right, next game now we've got Southampton versus Leeds. Southampton and Leeds really do need to get the points here. Both teams are looking for wins here, aren't they? Southampton can only seem to get draws, can't they? Really, where Leeds have only got the one, haven't they? Where Leeds have only got the one. So I'm going to say that it's going to be a 1-1 draw again. With all fairness, Southampton didn't deserve to lose to us. They still picked up a point and they could have possibly won it as well. Though Southampton haven't picked up a win yet this season, and they will be looking to beat Leeds. Where Leeds have picked up one win this season, and that was only a 1-0 win against Watford. So Southampton 1, Leeds 1. Southampton really need to pick up a win here, but at least they are picking up points, but they are on the brink of relegation and are in 17th place. But they are picking up points unlike the other bottom 3 teams. Right, the next game now we've got Brentford versus Chelsea. That is actually a West London derby. Brentford are going to be a massive threat to Chelsea, where Chelsea are going to really want to do a really professional job and win the game. Can Brentford take the same approach like Liverpool did? Can Chelsea take the same approach like Liverpool did, like they did. Well, Brentford got a 3-3 draw against Liverpool. Can the same thing happen this time? But I think a win for either side can happen here, so it's going to be a little bit different, isn't it? So I think it'll Chelsea in that game against last couple of games. They did play quite poor against Juventus and against Man City, but Southampton was a routine win for them, and hopefully they can get a good point. Hopefully it could be a good game for Chelsea against Brentford. They can get a point, and hopefully they could. They should really be getting a win against Brentford. But you shouldn't say that against Brentford because they're a good side this season, Brentford. So my prediction is Brentford 1, Chelsea 2. But anything can happen on the day. Right, next game now. This is the Sunday game now. It's Everton versus West Ham. I can see this being a very thrilling game here, as Everton sit 5th and West Ham sit 9th. To be honest, I thought West Ham were a little bit higher actually. Everton have had a great start to the season. I think they've actually played better under Raffle than actually under Ancelotti. They've only had one poor performance this season, and that was against Villa. But other than that, I think they play pretty good. And West Ham, they've had an okay start to the season as well. Apart from losing to Brentford, where they could have easily got it, where they could have got a point at the end, and Man United, where they missed the penalty through Noble. Well, that was a stupid decision. If they would have actually put somebody else on the penalty, and where Noble didn't have any time to warm up on the pitch, they would have let somebody else take it who was on the pitch and fully warmed up. They would have got a point out of that game. And they're really somewhere like 7th in the league in like a European spot. So my prediction here is going to be Everton 2, West Ham 2. Any team can win this here. It's up for grabs here, really. Right, the next game now, we've got Newcastle versus Spurs. Of course, the Saudi Arabian takeover is coming this week with a back consortium of Amanda Staveley and some Saudi Arabian owners for around 300 million, I think. And Mike Ashley, that means he leaves now. But the big question is, who comes in? Does Steve Bruce stay, or does a new manager come in? That means he might be able to sign some world-class players in January, but he can't sign any now. Will Bruce stay? Well, I think personally, well, Bruce didn't have much backing under Ashley. I think he was an okay manager. I do feel a little kind of a bit sorry because he didn't have the right players and Ashley didn't back him despite how well he kept Newcastle up with a limited squad, and how last season, if they wouldn't have had Joe Willock, I think they would have gone down quite easily. Up against Spurs here, who are in a little bit of trouble and they aren't playing exactly that great, and I think Nuno is under a bit of pressure. Apart from beating, they've got a few good wins actually, haven't they? They beat Man City Man City. They beaten Wolves. They beat Watford, and they beat Aston Villa. I think they played good against. I think their only good win really has been against Villa, and that's it, where they actually did perform. And maybe Man City at the start of the season. But some of their wins have been really undeserved, though. So in this game here, I think Newcastle can play really well. I don't think they'll get a win. I think it will take time under these owners, but they will stay up, and they should stay up 100% this season. These are definitely really under these new owners. So Newcastle 1, Spurs 1. If any team's going to get the result, it will definitely be Newcastle. And there should be a full crowd there actually. Right, next game now we've got Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Arsenal have seemed to got a lot of 1-0 wins, and the biggest of the season is 3-1 against Spurs. Against Crystal Palace, who have actually seemed to have tried getting on with it. But I do think there is kind of like one goal in it again. Maybe a second for Arsenal. It will be relatively close, but I think Arsenal was slightly edgiest here. So Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 0. So then guys, that wraps up this week's game week 8 then. So if you did all enjoy this video, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your notifications every time I make a video. I did make this video a little bit longer today because I haven't made a video in ages. So see you all around guys. I'll try and upload a bit more content. See you around guys. Bye everyone.